Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Stacy, and tonight we are going to be painting a winter rose. I thought we would start off by using my Holbien watercolors. They are, I've had these 3 tubes for quite some time. The wells are a little bit dirty, so I thought we'd put a little fresh paint in them and kind of liven them up a bit. These are the only Holbein watercolors that I own. They came in one of my sketch boxes, I think. I have this one that I just put out is Permanent Yellow Light, and then I have Opera, which is quinacridone Opera right here. Ooh. This one I love, so it's getting down there a bit. Ooh. Here it comes. I don't have much left. There it goes. There we go. I'll have to clean that up. It's totally fine. There we go. And then this one is Peacock Blue. A little stuck shut. There we go. I need to get one of those tube ringers to get the last of the paint. These I've pretty much used up, which is really nice. These colors will last for quite some time though. Let's get that scooted down a bit into the, there we go. Give that a little wash. Alright, and I have out my new brushes. These are my Grabie Premium Synthetic Quil brushes. I have out the round number 1, ooh, cheese and rice, the number 4, and the number 7. These are the sizes I've chosen for tonight. I'm going to start with, and I haven't used any, a little bit of stuff on there, anything to emphasize the white, so I'm going to try not to paint my snow. I'm going to go ahead and wet around the entire sketch. And this is just a loosely sketched piece. I drew it out with a number 2 pencil, nothing fancy. And I'm working on, what is this, 140-pound cold press watercolor paper, which I have not taped down, so it is going to buckle a bit as I go here. I'm not worrying about it tonight, I just want to paint for a little while. I'm wetting the entire background, letting it soak in a bit. If you are at all worried about the buckling of your paper, I'll show you, if you have a waterproof surface, you can wet the back of your paper and stick it down, and it shouldn't buckle while you're working on it. Shouldn't being the key word. We can go ahead and do that right now. Just give it a little flip and wet down the back pretty evenly. And it will stick to the surface of your desk, and it should go pretty flat. There we go. Give it a little once over. It'll dry right there. If you can't tell where you've wet your paper, just tilt it to the light a little bit, and it should show you where there is a glare and then where there's not. You just want to make sure you get it all. There we go. Let's see how that works. And it should stick down pretty nicely. There we go. Good enough. Good enough for me. Alright, I'm going to do the background in a little bit of a green color, something dusky, not quite bright. I don't want it to be super bright, so we'll get some blue out here. Lots of water. And then I think I'm going to mix my green here, so clean that brush up a bit. There we go. Grab some yellow and make a bright green. And these Holbien colors mix really well together. I've never had any problems with, there we go. See? So that was a pretty good glob of blue with teensy touch of yellow and then just a smattering of the, and just play with your mix a little bit just to get it where you want it to be. And I'm just going to go ahead and tap it in where I would like it to spread around a little bit. And there we are. And this is my Arches watercolor paper. I don't play with the Arches paper a lot, so I'm unfamiliar with how the paints will move or not move. And as you can see, even wet into wet, like a nice blob. It doesn't want to spread around and rush about too much. This Holbein paint doesn't at any rate. So you want to get it in your little nooks and crannies where the snow is. Maybe push it out a little bit, like so. And that, and around like that. And I don't want the background to be dark. I'm shooting for kind of washed out, a little bit light, but not too terribly light. A little more blue, a little more magenta. Ooh. Grab a touch of pink. Pink, yellow, I'm all right. And pink, and then blue. Oops, I always contaminate my yellow. I'm really bad about that. Really, really bad about that, actually. Let's soak some of that up. Okay. Get in there. There we go. That yellow there. A little bit of bright is alright, I suppose. See how the magenta just knocks that brightness right back? See that kind of phthalo-y kind of green, and we just grab a little bit of the magenta and it knocks it down into more of a sap, which I enjoy. I'll just do a little bit of that. Just slowly work around your edges. You take as much time as you need with the wet paper and the wet paint. You should have plenty of time to lay down your color and not have to rush too much. Get the rest of this picked up. Plop it down. I like it. Okay. gonna leave that alone. I am going to drop this brush, grab the little one. Scoot that over. I don't have any paper towels or napkins, so I have a little scrap of white rag. It's just cotton, a nice cotton towel that I've cut up into bits. We'll clean up our edges here. And anywhere on your painting where if you've gotten anything too dark or you want a little bit of lighter spot, you can go ahead and tap it in. And I see I got a little magenta right there. I'm gonna scrub that. Drop in a little green to kind of hide that. If you want to, you don't have to. Okay, next I'm going to take some water and I'm going to go ahead and wet, not too wet, the pink areas and get in my first little wash of color. So wet the area like so, and I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe that out. I want my pink to be pretty clean. Grab our magenta. I might want to knock this back just a bit. Ooh. I do love the purple that these two colors make. It's really beautiful in all of its shades. That'll work. Okay. And then we can tap it in. See, it's not really bleeding. You got to kind of really push it around to make it move on this paper. There. It's a little bright for me. How am I going to tamp that down a bit? That's a little better. There we go. Do a little wash in here. Depending on what you want, you do your wash your way. You can work wet into wet. You can do this wet on dry. If this is what you prefer, you can pick up some of this and drop it in here. And just get that base color in. Here. Try not to touch the snowier parts too much. Because this magenta is pretty staining. It's not going to want to pick up. And when I say pick up your paint, I mean you can attempt to pick up your paint by cleaning your brush, making it pretty dry, go in and literally pick up the color like that. If it's too bright or too much in an area, you can also go in with a little bit of water and wet the area, let it sit for a second, blot with a towel, and it'll go pretty back to white depending on how quick you move. Really digging a more purpley color. Okay. Grab a touch of that pink. I want to get in all my little washes of pink where I need it to be. Let's put a little more in there where I lifted it. That was just an example. Come in here and get my bits where I need it to be a light pink, like so, there, and then a little bit right here. And then just a little shadowing here and a little bit here to about there. And then the back side of this petal right through here. And I'm just noticing that I got too much pink right here. Just gonna pick that up. Give it a little scrub. And another little, you gotta push a little bit. That helps with the pickup. Let's see. A little more like that, yeah. That. And then a little ridge down here. And then this little bit right here. And you can start to slowly see your piece come together. And when you start, you're going to be thinking as you're working, oh, this looks terrible. That's okay. It's all right. It's meant to have an ugly phase. Every painting and drawing you do will have a phase you don't really like or that is in question somehow. I got more magenta down here, so I'm gonna swoosh that around, drag it out a little bit, drop in a little more green. Okay. And then come in here and do this section here, like so. Now, here is where you decide, do you want to wait for the whole thing to dry? Do you want to just keep working? Are you okay with how things are looking? Is there anything you will need to correct or that you aren't really digging? You can go ahead and make adjustments throughout your piece while you're working, or you can just give yourself a pause, let the piece dry, walk away. A lot of times it's nice to do that. I'm going to dive right in with shadows, and I'm going to use a little bit of purple. I want it to be a little more, just a little more purple than that. And then I want to knock it back a bit. So that grays it out a little bit. It's not so bright and vibrant. And come in here and gently drop that in. In the shadowy bits. And let it move around and bleed about and do its thing. And then a little line here, a little bit through there. And then down here, going up. Like so. Let's see, where else do I want some shadowy bits in here? But I want it to still read as pink, so I'm not going to get too carried away. Just a glaze of color. Okay. Then I think I'm going to pick up right here along this edge. Got a little too carried away. Okay. I'll drop some pink back in there. like so. And I missed a little bit right here of a petal peeking out from the snow right there. And if you have a heat tool as well, you can use a heat tool or a hair dryer. Careful with a hair dryer, they tend to blow. You don't want to get too close to your paper because it will blow your paint around if it's very, very wet. This is getting a little dry. If it feels too wet, you can lift and, oops, just drip that on the floor. Dry the desk off a bit. Get any extra excess drippies off the back. And just set it back down. There we go. Give it a little pull. Okay. Are we digging the purple? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm gonna roll with it though. Make the painting your own. A little bit there. Just a touch there. There. Let's see. Little smatterings in the white of the pink peeking through the white snow, like that. And then this area right here is meant to be green. Water. The green of our background, and I got, just gonna drag it down and out like that. Okay. A little bit of dark on the edge of this one where the snow's overshadowing, and then just a little bit through here. There. Throwing a little green on top of that purple, just a bit along the very edges. Muddies things up and kicks things back a little bit. Gives me that shadowy effect I want. Take my purple and come in here and give it a little glaze. Drop that in. Just kind of tapping where I want it to be. I'll pick that up a little bit. There we go, so it's not so wet. I'll pop in a little bit of the green to kick back. A little bit right here. Bit through there. All right, let's let all those dry. It's really wet. I'm not used to these brushes at all. I haven't used them much. So that water to paint ratio I'm gonna have to work on. Sticker back floating around on the desk. go. Now I'm going to mix a little bit of green for the stem, and I'd like it to be less watery, so I just keep it a pretty inky consistency. Touch of pink. Let's see, do I like that? Not really. Let's do a little more blue in there. There we go, that's a little better. Supposed to be like more of a, oh, I got a brown, look at that. Touch more blue. Touch more blue. There we go, that's more of a deep kind of dirty wintry green. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do a light wash in my green areas. Let's see. I can do this without messing up the whole piece. Through here. Here. This bit here. Whew. There we go. Pull that all the way down. Through there. This guy right here. Like that. I need that more bright green. But then right in there. Really not feeling this painting at all. I'm just gonna keep rolling with it, see what happens. Okay. That's better. That's better. Trying to muddy it up a bit and make it less bright because it is a winter flower and it's lost all of its brightness. There we go. A little bit there, just a teensy touch up there. There we go. And this is where the folded petal is peeking through that snow. And you're just basically muddying up the white so that it's not so stark, right? There we go. Kind of digging it now. The more I paint, the better I'm liking it. All right. I feel like, ooh, that's very wet still. I feel like I want that muddy green. There. Like that. Little variegation going on there, like so. Let's see, what else do I want to do? I think this feels like it's at a halfway point for me. It's very ugly, it's very unfinished, and I'm thinking about colored pencil. So I think I'm gonna let it dry all the way, and then I'm gonna come over the top with colored pencil. I think that's a good idea. It'll really make this pop off the page a bit. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to let this dry probably overnight and come back to it in the morning. I think that's a good idea. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit, but for me it'll be a few hours. Okay guys, we are back. It's been a couple days. The painting is completely dry, and I was thinking about going in. It looks very different now that it's dry. And I was thinking about going in with colored pencils, but I think I'm just going to do a little more paint for now. And maybe do a little bit of like dry brush over the top, which is a very dry brush with paint on it, almost no water, so that you can like skim over the surface like that and pop in your details. Give it that. I really want it to pop off the page a little bit, so see, you get a lot of work done with just a little bit of effort. I'm gonna wet the brush and then dry it off pretty well. Grab some paint. Come back in. There we go. Just skim it over the surface of the paper. This paper is textured, so I'm going to get a lot of interest in the form. I'm going to go, let's see. Come in and go around like that. Give it that shape, that roundy shape. I think I'd like a little bit more. Dark down here. A little more bold with that color. That. A touch of it right here. Kind of going up into the white a little bit to make it look like there's flecks of snow. It's not such a straight line. That. And we got a little bit of dark on this side, sweeping in. Just touch more water. Just a little bit more there, like so. How's that look? Are we digging it? Just some sweeping dark. Pull it up like that. That. I gotta pick it up and look at it. It's all right. Let's see. Okay. Just kind of sweeping it up like that. Come in with some dark. Give a little pull. I'm trying to create a little bit of form there. I missed something here. Oh, that's way too bright. Let's tone that down just a skosh. Maybe not quite so wet. There we go. Glaze, and then come in and get in some of that dark texture. There we go. A little bit more pink. I'm going to go ahead and do a little wash of that right here. A little too wet. That's okay though. There we go. Okay, just a little more over here. I was going to do this a red rose, but that opera is too pink, so I'm embracing the pink. It's very difficult. And it is supposed to be a winter flower, so it is a little bit, what do you call it? Dilapidated, I guess. A little bit rough around its edges because winter hit. It looks like just before it was about to open up. Show off its fancy colors. Have its time to shine, and then winter was like, yeah, no, sorry, can't do that this year, you're a little late. There we go. Then let's work on, I'm going to let that dry a little bit, and then I'm going to work on the green for a hot second here. Just putting in a little bit of bright, and then I'm going to go over it with some dark. Yeah, there we go. That makes it look more uniform, a little more bold, right? Put a little more blue in here, and then just a touch of red to kick it back, make it a little more olivey. That's technical terminology right there, olivey. The artist's technical terminology. To be a little bit more of an inky consistency. Maybe a little red-brown on that stem to make it feel more wintry. Like so. A little less bright and springy, right? All right, let's see. I would like to there's a bit of more shine right there. A bit of shine there. We can fix that with the bleed proof white. It'll be fine. I'm gonna wet this spot a little bit. See if I can't scrub it out. Nope. Fine. You know what it is? It's a little wrinkly, dilapidated leaf. We're gonna just roll with it and make it so. There we go. We can crisp that up after that dries a little bit. My hair's making me crazy today. You know what we could probably put on here? Just occurred to me. It's not a bad idea. My Caran d'Ache crayons. All right. They're pretty fantastic. Everything's askew, but that's all right. Let's do, that's crimson. I don't want to do that. Let's not go too far into the darkness. And you can wet these as well. These are water soluble. If you wish, you can do that. And I can show you what that looks like. And you can use a lot of water. You can use just a little bit of water. I recommend gentle and a little bit of water, because once they start moving, they move really well. And certain colors with this stuff will, what do you call it? It'll shift, the color will shift quite a lot from the dark solid to wet. I've had a lot of colors get super bright on me when I didn't want them to. So if you do get these crayons, I recommend swatching for sure. And what else do I recommend? Sampling. If you're not going to swatch, have a sample sheet where you can scribble it down and then wet it and see what color it turns to. Because this one, let's see, this one right here, I believe gets a little brighter. I've got a little sample sheet of watercolor paper. I'll scribble that down. See how bright that gets? And they work just like a watercolor. But obviously, different papers, you're going to get different textures. It's going to leave different lines and marks on your page. So yeah. Something to note, if you're going to get these and use them, definitely experiment and They're a super fun tool. Highly recommended. I'm just gonna scribble this in a little bit. Back a bit, and then this has a bit of shadow in there. Like that. All right. That. Yeah, I like that. I like the texture, I like the depth of color, and that finish, that slightly more finished feel. A little more contrast as well, which is really, really nice. Grab the brush and gently soften some of this out a bit. Like that. Just skimming over the top of it right now. Kind of push it into the page a bit. Get rid of some of the texture. Maybe not all of the texture, I kind of dig it. But right here, I want to soften that a little bit. Smoosh it in. Smooshing, it's very technical. Very serious terminology for you right there. The smooshing of the supplies. Trying for this invoice. I'm still thinking about work. For this video, it's not an invoice, it's a video. To not be super long. I don't want it to be too long. Let's see. And then I want to this one in here. Get in a little bit of shadow. Just that push and pull and make things look more receded and more forward and give me that depth that I'm looking for. There. A little bit of crimson in here. push that crimson in. The brush is pretty dry and I'm using a pretty light hand for that. There we go. Okay. Now I do have a white. Where is it? That's not white. This is white. Let's use this and see if I had. There you are. Nope. Well, quit being elusive. Come on now. You know you want to play. Alright. There we go. Now we can see better what's happening. Okay. Now if they get dirty like this, you can dip them in the water and rub them off on a cloth because they are water soluble. Kind of like you would if you had a pastel, you just rub it off on a cloth to clean it up and bring it back to its crispity color once contaminated, right? And then if you don't get it all, you can scribble on something. There you go. And get it back to pretty white. And I'm going to come up here. I'm just going to press down pretty hard and scribble about. And I'm not going to cover up all of the pink blotches. I just want there to be a crispity edge. But I want it to look haphazard, you know? Frothy, if you will. It's hard to keep your hands out of the way when you're doing something like this. See our edge right here? I'm just going to come in here and push out and get some of those crystals going, right? Like that. And if it gets too messy, we can just scribble it off. Like that. And then I want to frost it up in some areas, right? Make it this look like it's a little frozen. That. Cool. Oops, that's got green on it. Gosh darn it. I'll use the other end. Well, you can scrape that off. If you don't like it, you can scrape it off. You can just go back over the top. Another thing I use for doing this kind of stuff is bleed-proof white. You can also use your gel pens over watercolor. You can use, what else can you use? Colored pencil, pastels. If you have pastels, you can put oil pastel on top of this. You can put chalk pastel on top of these. Pretty much, you could use pretty much anything over the top of watercolor, and it be successful. Just drag it around. And I'm pressing in pretty hard. That hard line, I don't care for that, so I'm going to go over the top of it and kind of smoosh it back a bit. Leave some of it peeking through, but not all of it. There we go. Geez, I haven't done much art, much painting. I feel like a novice again. There. Why is it not reading my finger? There we go. Oh, the frustration. Go ahead and get that in there. Get some really blobby marks over here. Yeah, like that. I don't know why that end is so green. It's a little frustrating though. I'm digging it. I think it looks pretty cool, right? For not having created anything finished or, oops, sorry, just, whoa, knocked everything askew. Jeez, sorry about that. Getting crazy. Crazy, I tell you. We're almost done. Let's put a little bit of frost on our stem. A little bit of frost right there. Maybe running right there. On the tip of this guy. And then definitely need some right through here. Like that. And definitely need some out here. This would be more effective with oil pastels because oil pastels are more sticky and you can kind of tap them in and make it look more, what do you call it? Textured. And I love texture in art. Love, love, love it. A little bit of white there. A little bit of white there. Just kind of sprinkle it along the edge of this right here. And then the edge of our stem. To give it that, you know, glistening, like crackly, like the light's kind of filtering through the ice on the stem. That kind of thought pattern. I dig it. I dig it. Okay. I'm just gonna do a little softening there and there. A little bit there. A little bit through there. I had like a few more sprinkles up here. There we go. Bouncing my paper around. That looks cool. I dig it. This spot here is bugging me. kind of liking it now. I wasn't liking it before. Now I'm really liking it. I'm liking all these textures. Textures are good. Okay, that's the white. Maybe just a little bit of, I guess this. This one's more sharp. Come in here and get a few little bits of those petals peeking through the crispity snow as they fold around in their icy captivity. I am just flowery with the words right now. Like that. And then come up here and get a little more right there. Maybe a touch right here. Hold that down and just do a little bit of tapping. Make it look like that. Petals peeking through the snow. Not a lot, I don't want to overdo it. Like that. There. A little bit through here. Like that. That. Just kind of scribbling over the top at this point. How fun is that? Scribbling's fantastic fun. And it gives you cool textures, unexpected mark making, which can be amazing in your piece. I think I'd like a little bit of green leafy stuff peeking out right there. Frostily though. We want it to be frostily peeking through. So we'll add the white. There we go. I think a little more frost right there. What do you guys think? Is this effective? Does it look like a frosty snowflower? Where's the Snow Queen when you need her to tell you you're doing it right? It's perfect, my darling, perfect. Put a little soft pink in here too. Just a little bit throughout. Because it's fun. Because we can. Oh yeah. Just a bit. There. I think I'm done. I think I'm, except for this. This I'm not. Oh, that's crayon. Gosh darn it. Alright, maybe we can just scrub it out. That's a little better. There we go. And at this point, if you don't like your background, you can always, you can do something with your background. You can make it darker or lighter. I'm thinking I would like a little vignette kind of thing going on. So what we can do to create that is grab our colors and make a muddy color. Maybe a little wetter. And just go around our edges. And kind of scrub it in a little bit, haphazardly, like that. Let's do blue, touch of red, there we go, touch of yellow, a little more yellow, touch more blue, a bit more red. There we go. You could also do this with chalk or pastel if you want it to be super soft. Yeah. Maybe a little more water for this. It's too much texture. Just plain water to soften those darker textures. There we go. There, done. Ta-da! A little dark right there. There we go. I'm gonna look at the camera and see how I like it. Well, it's a little bright, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna let it roll. There's all of our textures. Textures are fun. That really does look frosty, doesn't it? Could do a better job with the frosty stuff up here. I have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, that's our painting for today. I hope you guys like it. I hope you enjoyed the process. Or chaos, you know, what have you. These are my Holbien colors once again. I really love them. These three colors do a lot of really nice mixing. For this, I would have liked a deeper red, but I didn't really think about that when I got going. This crimson would have been amazing. Yeah, these are messy, by the way. This crimson would have been absolutely amazing. Look at it. Gorge. Gorgeous. Yeah, that was kind of more of these two mixed together, I guess. Like layered. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Makes that dusky color. Yeah, like that. Alright, at any rate, this is what we got. This is how it worked out. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for being here. Bye.